No, this is McKen Law Firm, 509-765-4451, fax 509-765-6019. McKen Law Firm has a authorization in Presidential primary election, being 45th, former 45th, and running for president again, United States president again. He announced it. He was going to run for president again. And he has no regrets running for president again. President of the United States of America, and the regulation and service of the United States Constitution binding running for president of the United States again, he has all rights to do that. Now the policy regulation of the law firm at 509-765-451, fax 509-765-6019, you see the ultraviolet rays are coming over this horizon there. Now that sun's coming over Brokendale. It's coming right over Brokendale. So the 45th, 47th President of the United States of America. The sun is coming right above and overcasting over Moses Lake, McKen Law Firm at 509-765-4451. You know, the ultraviolet rays, the 4 seasons. We'll have 4 or 5 cuttings for alfalfa. You know, we got seasons, natural agriculture, the Washington Farm Bill, 5, you know, it carries an executive order, no other, by the President of the United States of America, because they're taking this, trying to cut down services and make things up and erase information, because they're still trying to assassinate the President of the United States of America, because he has credibility and he's a Republican. And he went farther than that. He took himself and put himself in harm's way because he's running for President of the United States of America, and he announced it. So they put a non-stop internet service campaign to railroad Donald J. Trump to the ground, into a grave, into a grave site which monopolized internet systems. And I gotta manually download this stuff, this information. Why? Because testimony arises and I literally have to download this because it's erasing a continuing non-stop campaign to assassinate the President of the United States of America. So the only way to stop that and work with that chaos that brings Donald Trump into erasing his campaign and erasing Donald Trump as he runs for the President of the United States for the second time. And then, you know, the factor is erasing information and the contents information of a business license that's embedded at the McKen Law Firm. Steve Hobbs, Kim Wayman, Secretary of State, Teresa Bringston, and Marcus J. Glasper, Department of Licensing, and then Governor Jay Inslee. Now, Governor Jay Inslee has signatures on these documents, Kim Wayman and Steve Hobbs. Now, the business license, renewals, policy, regulation, SOS, WA, Gov, Corps, and all that policy regulation authorized by the Executive Presidential Election 45th. So 2017, 18, 19, 20, and then 2021, and then 22, 3, 2024, arise Donald J. Trump's primary election at Grant County Courthouse, Northwest, Frederick, Washington, 98823. And then very much of a campaign, building their Air Force One, building their national jet engine and installing it at Rhonda Kaiser's freedom. And then carrying that receipt and faxing that confirmation receipt through McKen Law Firm. Rhonda Kaiser's freedom, Rhonda Kaiser. J. Mueller, Amy Mueller, Mueller's freedom, 14 on South Union. And then going to Pasco, freedom home, J. Mueller's freedom home. And retaining the jet engine, getting the material and putting it on 2 pallets and have it installed. See, July 13th, 2023, 2024, year after year. Accident report, Washington State collision report after collision, department license after department license, and the DOL, Mrs. Barbara Vasquez, Melissa McKnight, Larissa Perez, the 3 judges, 3 commissioners, and also the audit and tax forms and services, how the railroad and policy regulation, Ivanka, Tiffany Trump, Eric Trump, Donald Trump Jr. Now, of course, presidential primary election, trying to exclude the presidential primary election and bring it to their discretionary to set things matter in their situation to better improve their situation to make a presidential election to make it like there was no Donald Trump in the first place, and his their ways of making the presidential election to a discretionary service that makes people confused because they make fake news and bring information centers to discretion to make things up. Norman J. Mattis is Department of Defense. And now, Department of Defense, the Pentagon, Mark Miley and Lloyd Austin, Mark Miley, they carry their consequences fairly. See, they monopolize their situation and services and by saturating themselves and being a position for advocacy panel, for one. And then they come into internet systems and partake in still come in here erasing information at a McKen law firm, disguising themselves of blowing out the water lines, and then this mischievous break into the window, and then get internet systems and get on the phone, and then come here and make their policy regulation service to their increments of society. Norman J. Mattis is of course, a general of the Marine Corps and the Department of Defense. See, this is how corrupted they are. And the policy regulation, how they erase information, bringing information center to their policy regulations of restoring policy rights, propane lines, water lines, coax lines, then internet systems. And then they install and disguise themselves, personating themselves of this or that, when you've been here since the 1950s. Back in 1919, 1900s, and the policy regulation of Norman J. Mattis and policy regulations of Richland, Washington. See, we got the video of Norman J. Mattis and Mr. Andy Miller, Washington State Prosecutor, the Benton County Justice Department at 7122 West Okanagan Place, carrying the authorization of business form and policy regulation of download information. The discretionary Mr. Andy Miller, Washington State Prosecutor, the longest prosecutor ever to retain his job, holds his position, University of Washington, the Husky Stadium. The Husky Stadium holds the policy regulation services. Norman J. Mattis, in his memorandum, how he disguised a Patriot Act, a running board and out schooner, which means nonetheless to have these adversaries erase information, have their individual automatic downloads. Now, Benton County Justice Department, Grand County Courthouse, they don't know exactly what's going on because we got a residence across the street called George Washington, the President of the United States of America, a house right across the street. And then we got McKenna Law Firm, we got confirmation signature. No, we got attorney's office in the corner, a judge inside, 3 judges, 3 commissioners. No, there's no missing a consequence, no missing effort of how they erase information to discretionary services, bring Carla and Virginia and John Luke McKenna involved in the situation. And then Air Force One lands Doomsday at an international airport, Moses Lake, Washington, an Army base. And they come here making things up. So I have to literally download, submit information, executive order 45th, 47th. And then Mr. Joe Biden, his executive order, how he's bringing his individual chaos executive order, handing over the Holy Grail to Mr. Joe Biden, and he runs off and brings havoc. Tyranny, Armageddon, and also biological warfare through our front yard, into our testimony of services of our residencies, our homes, our residencies, our restaurants, our bars, our front yards. And I got legal activities going on as these people are being kidnapped, people being eradicated, going to Chinatown here in Moses Lake, going to Chinatown here in Seattle, and go to Chinatown and also go to Japan. Mama's son, she's a very good individual, smart individual. This is Lloyd Austin. Lloyd Austin, he's a Notre Dame. He's originally from Notre Dame. Army versus Navy. See, Notre Dame, he partakes his position as Notre Dame. He held his position at Notre Dame. And they paid him. The Army paid him to be in the Army. He was from Notre Dame. Fighting Irish. No, the Fighting Irish. During that policy regulation, Fighting Irish. The policy regulation, Joe Biden, he needed a nonchalant, Code Department Defense representative. Mr. Joe Biden is the 46th President of the United States of America. Mrs. Norman J. Manis, he holds his position as well. Went to Richland, Washington, and had his service activated because Felix Barela is in Richland, Washington. His birth certificate, his Kennedy building, his Senate office, Ryan Ludson, Norman Rodriguez, Eric I. Singer. Policy regulation diminishing something, eradicating, erasing something, and going out of their way to erase and eradicate information that's on records and a policy regulation of how they subdued and brought chaos and bringing much of the havoc and policy at McKenna Law Firm at 509-765-4451. Now, we got the testimony of Notre Dame, Fighting Irish, Army, Navy, the Fighting Army, Navy first, Army versus Navy, Navy Army. This is Lloyd Austin. See, he's a living individual. This is living apparatus, living evidence. You got frogs all over Nebraska. You got frogs in wintertime, you got frogs in summertime, you got frogs in the springtime, you got spring frogs in the fall, you got frogs in the wintertime. And that's a policy of evolution. Of data recovered here at McKenna Law Firm, how they erase and partake in information and bringing much as the testimony of Kim Wayman, Steve Hobbs, Governor Jay Inslee, Teresa Bringston, and Marcus J. Glasper. This is Mr. Lloyd Austin. Now, the policy regulations services, they carry much of a testimony service, an executive order becoming the 45th, 47th President of the United States of America. and erasing information, and then downloading it, and then recording it, and then going to a courthouse and have to download it into Microsoft, and then burn it down to CD, and then submit it. And then when they come to an email, you got to go in video and ask them, oh, Melissa McKnight, Barbara Vasquez, go to the election campaign office, they're counting the ballot forms still, and so forth. They still come in here, erasing information, put it on themselves of erasing information, and then come in here, office, blowing out water lines, and then squirting themselves in here to access files, and then shut water lines, pipeline, one thing after another, just to make things up, to bring one individual, President of the United States of America, another individual, a fabrication of agency to erase information that brings them to a hierarchy, higher power to deliver and execute a living apparatus information center and data. And when it's erased, it goes into a bin. Business license renewal service and direct deposit and Social Security office and a few transactions and first and last name. Now Donald Trump gets $100,000 more being President of the United States of America. He gets at the $100,000. It used to be $300,000, now it's $400,000. $450,000, $400 some thousand dollars, and some $400,000. For being the President of the United States, getting $300,000, $400,000, and then sign a contract, and then they come here erasing information at a McKen law firm at 509-765 in Carla, Virginia, and Virginia and Ivana, we lost Ivana Trump, lost Melania Trump, Canvas, Kandar, Carr, which is Melania's biological mother, and then Mariana Trump Berry, Donald Trump's sister, Supreme Justice Court. And Laura Trump's still around. She's around. But last of the apparatus of the service and policy regulation, how they eradicate erasing information and contents information and bring it to their discretion to be priority of getting rid of the law firm. They're trying to get rid of the Supreme Justice Department position. It's trying to come here in front of the courthouse and eradicate, erase information, and go to Benton County Justice Department with their erase sort of direct deposit of all these living apparatus individuals. This is McKen Law Firm, 509-765-4451. I would download, submit the information again, and again, and they still come in here erasing information. So this priority, FedEx, UPS confirmation, the Washington Bar Association, 13294, physical address 509-765-4451. Phone number 509-765-4451. Phone number. Fax COVID-19 509-765-69. He's pleaded not guilty on everything. Every possible angle. Erasing information, then plotting and bringing agencies in. That video.